Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Stationeers. So I wanted to go over a lot of tips I got. So let me start. The first one is a question about why I am still bothering with the APCs. Just a quick reminder, I have the kit battery go to an APC, going to a transformer. The transformer steps the power down so I don't have any shortages, but it is a fair question, why bother with the APC? So in the scenario that I have a kit battery that's about to run out of power, I can always slap a nuclear-powered battery in the APC and keep everything running really nice. So that's why I'm still bothering with the APC. It's not too costly, and it might save my skin at some point if I'm about to critically run out of power. One thing I would need to do if I do slap a big battery in there is to replace the normal cables with heavy cables. That was a tip from both Rafe and Zobzadman. The person that asked about the APCs was Falcoger. So here we go. Let's just fix that. Of course, I'll have a brief power outage doing this, but that's okay. So now, if I put in a massive battery into the APC, it won't blow everything out. The heavy cables, maybe at some point it used to run 50 kilowatts, but they run at 100 kilowatts now. So there's really no way for that to be a problem. So yeah, in the situation that I'm about to have a brownout, I could just grab a battery and slap it on in, and that keeps us running. So some other feedback I received. Tim Stove mentioned that a graph chart would be more suitable for power overview. So I actually set this up off camera because honestly, I don't like the way the graph charts display data most of the time. And yeah, I really didn't like how the graph charts display data. It might just be me being picky, but the graph charts I thought were pretty terrible. At a quick glance, it wasn't clear what the power requirements were, how much I was drawing. It was just sort of a jumbled mess. If you could send me a screenshot of a properly set up power chart that is more legible than what I was able to accomplish, I'm all for it, but it just didn't work for me. So I'm going to quickly set up the Green Vitals battery pronto right away. Get that system hammered out. There was more feedback. One of the other feedback I received was about using IC Logic for this. I think for complicated systems like atmospherics, IC Logic makes a whole lot of sense. But this is just a reader and a writer and nothing more. And it's really pretty simple. Meaning I'm probably not going to do logic chips for something that just requires... I would say the barrier to using MIPS and the integrated chips is probably something like 6 or more, 8 or more. I would probably put it around 8. If you have 7 regular logic chips that you are going to control something off of, use regular logic like these, whether it be memory or processors, and then if it's anything greater, use the integrated chip. Right? It's like you need the right tool for the right size of the job. So the way I think of it is the logic chips are like a backhoe digging a giant hole in your backyard. You know, so if you need to build a swimming pool, use a backhoe. But if you need to bury a pet bunny, you're not going to need a backhoe. You really, really don't. It's overkill. And that's sort of the way I think of it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do, this frame right here was never really intended to be kept and constructed, so I'm going to move it a little bit so that I can put my green logic. I'll put it here. No, because the battery's heavy cable is kind of there. I'll put the green logic here. Got a little bit of hunger caution. All right. I can roll with that. So here's all my logic chips that I'm gonna slap down. Why are you not allowed? Oh, there we go. So much like I set up the last one, these are gonna be pretty identical. Just, you know. Actually, oh, I say that, but I didn't actually do it. Let me do it a little bit better. Alright, so the readers will be here. Oops. How'd that get turned? Here and here. That spot right there is not accessible. So we're going to have to move this over, or move it down. Down is fine. So the reader and the writers. Alright. Now before I get too hungry, let's go ahead and actually do a full cycle of the airlock here and get more crops. I've been just eating off of surplus potatoes that I've harvested long ago, and I think it's a good idea to go into the farm every once in a while, and while I'm in here, let's do some atmospheric analyzation, making sure that everything is on the up and up. So we're going to switch our network analyzer with Atmo. It is vast majority CO2 still. Pressure and temperature are great. Really nothing to report here other than everything is working just fine. So great, that's very good here. I kind of like swapping plants during the day so that you can see them sprout. Because at night, it just sort of lays there as like a weird crop. But during the day, you'll actually see the full sprout mechanic. And then I'll yield my potatoes. Cool. Alright. This will be a lot easier when I'm not in a suit and when I have a proper hydroponics. That will be added to the top floor, of course, of the new base. I'm not quite there yet. And it's pumping out all of the precious... Oh, there we go. Gold takes a while. I'm just going to start slapping gold in there. Now, if you think I should be very bored of baked potatoes by now, you're right. So let's go ahead and make some fries, maybe? So, to make fries, I need a reagent processor, which will allow me to make soybean oil. So here's the reagent processor, and we'll get that cranked out. So there's a few different ways to make food. There's a lot of different recipes. You can make stuff as cool as pumpkin pie, which fills you up about 600%, or as simple as a cereal bar, like the ones we started with, which is just flour. That's the only thing that goes into the recipe, sadly. And that's a 60% fill. So, you know, if you're desperately hungry, starving, you would need more than one cereal bar. Fries is a 160-ish% fill. It's probably the most filling thing. Maybe the wiki's out of date, but it's the most filling thing that doesn't require like milk and eggs. Milk and eggs are a little bit more complicated to process. I don't need 2 reagent processors. Again, this is just plopped down with Q, and then I believe wrenched into place. Oh. Yep. And then the reagent processor. So for me to make soybean oil, I just need to stuff some soybeans in there. That's the outflow. Oops. Let's insert the soybeans. The bench needs to be on. The processor needs to be on.
Light off.
And there we go. It processes instantly, and now I have 3 milliliters of soybean oil. The thing is, fries require more than that, so I'm going to leave that there for a moment.
Light on.
Got to get my other soybeans. Okay. I'm just going to make a big batch of soybean oil. I'm going to insert all... Oh, didn't really want to eat it raw. That was a misclick. Alright, so now I have 10 milliliters of soybean oil here and 3 here. I'm going to put the 3 away. I'm going to make double batches of fries so I'm not hungry for a while. So now that we've processed the soybeans into soybean oil, into the microwave we will stick 5 units of soy oil and 1 potato. And this makes fries. You can also make popcorn and stuff like that. So now I have fries. So long, spending to... So long have I spent eating baked potatoes. Now I have fried potatoes that we make in a microwave. I can't imagine it's any good, but this will keep us alive and well for a while. I'm just gonna make a nice big batch of food here. Call me a line chef. This is like McDonald's. And every milliliter of soybean oil makes 2 sets of fries. As you can see here. It doesn't do half units all that well, so you have to use it twice. The packaging keeps track of it. Like, the game knows how much is left, but yeah. Alright, so 4 fries are probably enough for now. That's going to keep me running for a good long while. Of course, the soybean oil's separated stacks, but that's okay. And now I have all these extra fries to deal with. I'm going to keep a stack of it on me because I'm still hungry. I haven't really eaten anything but raw soybeans. Edamame is not bad, but not steamed or cooked, probably not so good. So there you see it. I ate, I'm full, and I still have over 50% of my fries left. Food is not affected by atmosphere, so it's not like these fries are going to get ruined. Maybe that's not all that realistic, but I'm very glad for it, because it would be very annoying to have to eat in a pressurized environment that is, like, food safe. Maybe eventually there'll be a hardcore mode that does something like that, but that would be pretty hardcore. Hats off to anyone that wants to play that way. Unless, I mean, it might be possible. I'm thinking it would be really challenging to play that way, just because there's a very small window that you would have before, essentially, starvation. So we are setting up the vitals. So let's put my little LED displays down. I just dropped my... Where did it go? Dropped the memory unit because I didn't have room in my inventory. And it probably is just stuck. Yep, stuck right behind the battery. Boy, oh boy, do I love physics. So, what we need to do is start to wire this up to the green network. This memory, of course, is temporary, so I'm just going to slap it there. Oh, actually, I'm going to move it back one. Be a little bit more easy to install. And that will allow us to set the colors correctly. I'm going to head over and grab my green cables and get wiring. It looks like I'm going to need a transformer and a analyzer. Alright, So let's get that out. I didn't make that yet. So the transformer, again, lack of iron. Well, there's a great big stack of iron here. And then I have a lack of copper. I don't believe I actually have copper anywhere. What was I making in here? Copper? Yes. Ha. I was ahead of the curve. For once. So the transformers prevent everything downstream from the transformer from blowing out. And the cable analyzer will allow me to analyze the current power requirement of said network. That's what they do. Looking for silicon. There's some in here. Cable analyzers definitely require a variety of... Okay, there we go. That's my wrench. Alright. So now we've got... let's pick up these green cables and stuff them in our belt. I also need the green paint, don't I? So here is another transformer small. And... cable analyzer. I'm going to grab my green paint, which I think I have 2 of. I'll try to use up 1 can, so I'm grabbing the more empty one. I find it too sad that I can't paint the LEDs themselves. Alright, so that is... I guess I can even paint the cable analyzer, although I'll never see it, mind you. It's always going to be somewhat hidden. So now we probably have to go up with this because the purple network is down. Meaning that for each wall we'll have 2 different kit batteries laid out. So this is all of the vitals, power, and data running off of this. Whoop. That was weird. Yeah, I still have plenty of propellant. I have no idea why I dropped suddenly. I could have just, like, welded steel to this, but I'm sort of working in that area down there. That's why I haven't done any of the steel. So, we need to connect this green here to this cable here. So the easiest way to do about that would be first, this purple cable that leads to the APC really ought to be heavy, and I'll replace that soon. And then that means I'm going to need some additional heavy cables. Everything before a transformer should be on a heavy cable because the potential of burnout. Although if that burnt out, it would be very easy to see and fix. So what I need to do is run a heavy cable here. Yeah, I'll just need to make heavy cables. There's really no 2 ways about this. So let's go do that. I'm curious if in my mining belt I have enough... Yeah, I have enough oxides and, alright, let me... Whoa, I have way too much open. I want to do a quick, smelting. If I can. Because I'm, standing here anyway. So split 2. Activate. And it's nighttime. Split 1. I figured I'd make some steel. I thought it... Okay, whatever. I split 1 twice. Start stuffing the iron in. And remembering that it is a very specific ratio that it's looking for. 3 parts iron to 1 part. I'm going to say coal, but it's really carbon. I kind of wish they renamed the coal to carbon. I don't believe this furnace is hot enough. Great. Yeah, I was sort of curious about that. Okay, no, it is. Sweet. There we are. We have a big old run of steel. I don't know where I'm going to use it yet. Alright, so now we've got the heavy cables all made. So we're going to rewire some of the stuff that should have been heavy in the beginning. 16. I'm just going to keep making a few more, just in case I need it. It also means that things are temporarily going to be unplugged. So at the moment, it's unplugged, but it's running off of battery power, hence the blinking, flashing warning that it is becoming, it's losing charge. The blinking, like that color, oh, and now it's dead. That is how quickly a regular battery would go. If I had a power shortage and I needed to make sure that I wasn't gonna like run out of power or whatever, you know, a nuclear battery would keep everything running for quite some time. The dinky little small battery that I had in there is gonna die pretty much immediately. I only have it in there because I didn't want to start making the larger batteries yet. I'm probably gonna skip large batteries and go straight to nuclear. They hold the most charge. Alright, so that is all plugged in, and now the green, blue is it's charging, and then solid green, it is full. All the beautiful colors of the APC. So right now, the kit battery is not only charging the battery in the APC, but then the APC is powering up all of my atmospherics. And now that battery is fully charged. While that battery was charging, if I looked over here, let me do this. If I looked over here, the power required would have been a little bit higher. Oh, actually, yeah, it wouldn't, because the cable analyzer is only downwind of the APC. All right, so let's close these up for now, and get back to what we were doing. So we have 8 cables here. We were making heavy cables over here. I don't want a gazillion. I just want enough to finish this network. So let's grab some of these. Seems like I'm constantly low on copper, so I'll just keep grinding copper out. So, the Vitals battery here, I don't feel... How do I want to go about this? I would like for there not to be an interruption of solar logic, and I think I can manage it like that. So, the way I'm going to go about this is... This APC is currently off. That's good. This will be called the Vitals Transformer. And the Vitals APC. Come on. The transformer here should be set to 4990. The same as the one below. And then this green cable needs to connect to the green cable down there. So let's get that powered up. So let me put my wire cutters here so I can add to this. And then we could run our vitals. Vitals, oh, one further. Vitals does not require a lot of power. I don't plan on putting a whole lot of power-hungry thing on the vitals. Vitals are elevators, airlocks, solar logic, that kind of thing. The vital systems that need to be running for the base to be running. So now, that APC here, which is currently the transformer's off, leads to the vitals network. So if I snip it here, it won't go dead. So let's go ahead and snip that. First, what we'll do is snip and turn the transformer on, or the APC on. Now it's running off of a small battery, which is going to die real quickly. So I was going to slap a large battery in there, which keeps it running a little bit longer while I work. And that's exactly what the APC is for. For, you know, power interruptions or low power or something like that. Okay. The only issue I see in the current cabling is there's really no way for me to elegantly bring this heavy power down. So, what I'm going to do is replace this. Let's just call this a design flaw. And turn this off. The vitals should still be running because it's running off the kit battery now. And because the vitals network isn't requiring a lot of power, it's not going to have a blowout. If the, yeah, you know, because it's not on a transformer, is I guess what I'm saying and going with it. All right, so let's fix this. All right, so we'll have straight cables. Go up, and now this leaves space for my heavy cable. I bet some of you were like, oh, he's not gonna have room. But I noticed. Eventually. Alright, so that's the green cable that we'll need to connect with. Then we'll have this heavy cable. Because we have so much green paint, I'm not gonna paint these heavy cables beforehand. I'm just gonna slap them down, paint them after. It's not a whole lot of cabling that I need to do here. But as you can see, really quickly, this becomes a bit of a mess. So that's one of the important aspects of painting cables certain colors, because you can end up with quite a lot of confusion. Now at this height here, do I have to go even lower? I might. And I'm sure there's a much more clean way to paint this. Of that, I have no doubt. But this will work, and all of this ugliness will be hidden behind networking, behind like wall panels and the like. So my ugly cable jobs won't be visible at the finale of the base. Alright, so this is roughly the same. This is the same height that I had the other kit battery at. So at least there's some continuity there. And then I'm going to want to bring this down. Oops. And now the kit battery is connected to the APC. It just fully charged the battery that's in there. I'm going to swap these batteries out. For now, I'm fine with there being a small battery in there. Eventually, you know, probably all large batteries, but like I said, for now, small is just fine. And now I have to wire this up properly, which means Getting rid of this cable here. So the kit battery, and I guess I should fix that connection as well to a nice corner. The kit battery leads to the APC, just like it did in purple, then leads to the transformer, which should be turned on, just like it did in purple, and then that green cable then leads to all of the vitals. So if I go up here, as you will see, all of the vitals here, like this IC housing, still has power and is 99% efficient. So I haven't screwed anything up. That is the goal here. So next episode, what I'm going to do is hook up the power monitoring, because I'm just about out of time, and then we will start working on other projects. I think probably adding in, I don't know, I'll have to figure it out. Adding in my volume pumps and some of the other plumbing, and eventually getting ready for proper the proper setup of you know, making sure that the base can hold atmosphere. That will be very, very cool. I'm not quite there yet. It's going to take a while. I also need heating and cooling. There's a lot of other systems to work out. All right, if you have any tips, tricks, feedback for me, drop me a line. I tried to go over as much as I could this episode, but still, I'm sure there's so much more that I haven't addressed. Thanks for watching. Adios.